Hello everybody, we're welcome back to the match here. I'm Sarnath, as always, casting Civ 6 for you guys out there. And today we have the Iron Man event hosted by clan SunZ. And these players, these 6 players, are fighting to the death or till a victory screen. And it's going to be a hell of a match. This is a Pangea. It is a small map since there are 6 players. It isn't always war games, so there cannot be any communications between the players. And oh man, we have some really skilled players here today. As you can see, I am toggled as France here for the extra visibility so that we have a better eye on what's going on here. And starting here in the west, as Brazil is going to be Rolf. A pretty precarious situation here, land-wise, geographically speaking. Has some great starts here. With these rainforests, some good woods. Has a back settle down here he can lean on as well. However, not far away is going to be Moel's Gorgo, Greece. So they're definitely going to be fighting over this land depending on which way they scout. But since he's already scouting in this direction, he's going to be wanting to settle in this direction, especially seeing the horse there. Hustle Mert picking up the Indonesia this game. Having some pretty good coastal resources there. This will be a very beautiful dockyard with the adjacency bonus. There's a marsh to grow his land. Not much in the way of production though. He's going to be herding there, only having the 3 production for now. But once he expands to the horse into these woods, he'll be in better shape, especially that camp. Picking up as the Cree is going to be Hannah. And she has an amazing start, actually. This flat stone will get chopped later on. Some oranges there for on plains, no less, for some really early growth and production. A 3-2 banana as well. Some jungle to hash out there and some beautiful hills behind it with a 4-food wheat tile to grow to later. That is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Russia being picked up by Harpagon. Taking a look at lots of plains hills here, beautiful 2-2 sheep as well. Some beautiful woods to chop out as well. This is absolutely a phenomenal start for Russia here. We do have a Germany in this game. Germany was not banned and has been picked up by 2B. Land is pretty decent overall, has the rice for quick growth, the 2-2 for some production, as well as the hillstone. Thank you. Lots of plains hills to the north. Has a 5-food sugar marsh right there. That'll make the city grow incredibly fast. And that summarizes our 6 players and their starts for the very beginning of this match. It's fairly well spread out. Carthage here, stuck on a little island, actually, amusingly enough. Take a look at the city-state representation for this game. We have 1 commercial in Lisbon, and that is going to be located all the way over here, actually near Germany. That could become very detrimental later on. Kumasi as a cultural city-state, 1 of 2, Nominal being the second. Kumasi is more centralized on the primary continent. We'll do a continent lens here in a second for you guys. But it's more exposed. It actually has really good tiles, so we might see Kumasi actually get taken. And this flat tile here, perfect spot for a commercial hub. Geneva, pick it up as the science city-state for the game, and that is all the way over by Moel's Gorgo. He might be able to pocket that if he can stop Hustler's Warrior from going up there. Non-Madol is the second cultural city-state. over in the west here. Might be pocketable by Rolf here, but it's very likely that Mule is going to find that as well. Toronto, as a industrial city-state, is on the western half of the map, so to speak. Kind of hidden. It's going to be a long time before anyone's really going to be able to find it. It's likely to get razed or taken. Because of the shape of the map, we could definitely see some naval play here, as this choke point here is defendable by frigates. Get frigates on either side of this, and Indonesia is going to be very difficult to push, especially when they go to battleships later on. It is a Pangea map, so this will be land unit dominant. However, in choke points like that, you can make excellent use of naval warfare. Carthage here on an island below Indonesia. Probably not going to get discovered for a considerable time unless it starts sending galleys out and about. Preslav, being our final city-state as a military as well, is in the north, in the tundra, if you will. Does have some good plains hills. So that might get picked up by Germany here to be right below that. However, Russia not far away. Mulewall finds Rolf here. They are pretty close. Rolf not knowing exactly where Mule is, though. Mule finds Indonesia to his southeast as well, getting some excellent scouting early on here. And Hustler did withdraw that warrior. However, he does have a horse picked up already. Could see him try to settle this rice tile here to grab the second horse. So we could see a horse rush from Indonesia, but against a Greece, that's incredibly risky, especially with Hoplites getting the benefit of that Xayj policy card. For those who are not familiar, it gives you 50% extra production when you're building melee, anti-cav, or ranged units from the ancient or classical era. It's a very potent card in the early game and can shave multiple turns off unit production on lead or standard speed. Triple scout coming out from 2B's Germany here, really wanting to find out where everybody's at. Harpagon going scout into builder here, looking to get some improvements done to really get some benefit out of working those tiles. The earlier you make those investments, the more dividends you get off. Yeah. Warrior fortifying on the rice here. He's definitely going to be throwing a settler on top of that as soon as he can. Getting that second horse online. Take a look at Rolf's Brazil here. Culture Grab does go for the extra 3-2 banana there. He is going to be in excellent shape for his capital. We're going to have to wait and see exactly what his plans are for his immediate area, though. As you can see here, he does have some immediate settles here that he can go for. This one, unfortunately, would give him no production outside of the reef, but These powerful Kree scouts coming with a promotion, having the extra combat strength. It's gonna make Hannah very difficult to target in the early game, and there is no real natural opponent near her, so that she can pretty much safely scout and expand away. A lot of space out here for quite a few of our players. But again, because of the nature of the game, we're very likely to see a lot of early warfare. Hostler declares on Mule.
Barbs is not on because of Inspector thing. He sees all the map, so it's no Barb.
Settler coming out for Hustler there, declares war on Mule to try and shoo the scout away, and does manage to do so. Settler's gonna come up for that spot to get those horses online. A little bit of pressure coming out from Rolf towards Mule here. He better get something to escort this Settler. He is in trouble. Builder coming out right behind it. Moves the warrior back, but it's going to be a little too late here. Looking around the map here. Mostly scouting going on in the early game as to be expected, but some of our players opting more to focus on their lands at home. Harpicon did choose to make a second warrior and use that for scouting as opposed to making scouts. Not too sure if I agree with that sentiment, but it is what it is. He does have one at home blocking up this one tile pass, but it's very easy to get around. Hey man, thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying the match as much as I am casting it. It's going to be pretty exciting. A lot of really good players in this game. Oh! Bold! Does he see it? Oh! Nope, gets the settle off. Okay. Oh, that could have been close if Hustle was watching. Chooses to settle right on that horse though, so Hannah will have a horse in the back pocket. Rolf moving that settler up there. Will be getting a forward settle towards Mule, and he is blocking the warrior settler link here from Mule as well. So this is going to be a little difficult to get out. Very bold move by Rolf here. He's got to be careful where he drops it though, or he's going to end up blocking potential settles for himself. It looks like he will be looking to put it right here where the fortified warrior is, but we'll have to wait and see if he can delay this link long enough. That being said, as expected, Hustler does get that settle down near that second horse, and Pantheon Earth Goddess is picked up by our Indonesian player. Settler coming out for Harpagon here, but it's unescorted. He needs this warrior to be back with this settler. Trader coming out and is on the way to Preslov from 2B's capital, Aachen. Does have Hamburg down. Looks like he's working on a monument. At turn 20, we're going to take a first look at the demographics to see how the players have elected to really shape and use their land. Again, most of the science and culture will be coming from population, which is the norm at this stage of the game. City is thrown down by Rolf on what was flat stones. That does get knocked off to emplace the city there. But it does completely lock out Mulewell settling on that river now. So that is going to be a real pain for him, but he does have an immediate settle up north that he can go for. Take a look at our continent lines here for a luxury spread. Wow, it looks like the continent is mostly split in two. However, there is a third that will encompass our German player, and perhaps part of Russia, depending on which direction he settles in. Oh, Harpagon does manage to get this settler linked up with this warrior, so it will not be alone in the world. Thank goodness. I thought we were going to see some settler snatches today. But so far, everything has gone pretty well for all of our players here. Fortunately, our Gorgo player is getting forward settled in both directions, especially from Brazil. Another settler going out as well. And there are no restrictions on classical generals in this game, so they can be used just as freely. Just as freely as any of the other generals in the game there. This settler is looking to go there. A little bit of pressure coming out from Hustler's promoted warrior here on the hill. Does see Rolf Scout, so he knows that Brazil is going to be somewhere over here. No new units coming out for any of our players, at least on this side of the world. Taking a quick look over the fence here. Reminding our players here. Oh, peace comes out between Myoel and Hustler. So they will be going to peace here. So that means Myoel has 10 turns of peace between himself and Indonesia, which is hard set by the game. So that means he'll be able to move freely as far as being around Hustler's units, but he's going to have to be very careful of Rolf. I wonder how far out this settler will go, if it will go all the way to the natural wonder or not. There are some amazing settles here. Taking a look at Hannah's Cree. She has a builder running around getting some improvements out there. Cree scouts running around all over the place, really. 2B scout coming all the way from Germany over there. Naming his cities after anime. Traditional 2B style. Novgorod goes down, oh wow, on that natural wonder. And this is the Pink Lake, for those of you who don't know. Each of its tiles give +2 culture, +2 gold, and +1 production, and it's considered fresh water to boot. So this city is going to be making him a bunch of gold. It's going to have decent production. Look at these tiles, absolutely beautiful. And he's going to be getting a lot of culture off of it as well. And we are at turn 20. Take a look at the demographics. Starting with science, we have Hannah's Cree at 6.2. Harvagon's Russia at 4 science per turn. 2B's Germany at 5. This is to be expected, low numbers in the beginning. Rolf's Brazil at 4.7. Hustler's Indonesia at 4.1. Myoel's Gorgo at 4. Taking a look at culture, Harpagon's Russia at 6.2, Rolf's Brazil at 4.7, Hannah's Korea at 4.5, Myoel's Gorgo at 4.2, 2B's Germany at... Indonesia by Hustler at 2.3. Even got a lava going down. Remember, lavas are a bit different than normal holy sites. You'll be getting writer, musician, and artist points as well from it. So a very early great writer pickup is going to be 2 great works for him, and those are +4 culture apiece. So that is a very nice early boost for a small investment. We do have an encampment down from Rolf. He did complete it. Open Sky picked up by Gorgo is going to have +3 culture for free off of that. That's going to be absolutely wonderful. Hey, OnSpot TV, how's it going? Bets on the winner. That's going to be really rough. All the players here are actually very good, and they've all got pretty decent starts. Let's see. I kind of want to throw my money on Germany just because it's Germany, but Russia's got really good land as well to work with. Encampment going down for 2B's Germany as well, we can see. So we could see some pretty early play off of that. Classical generals are completely unrestricted in this game, by the way. He's probably not streaming because he's worried someone's going to stream snipe. Not that I think anyone in this game would ever win in here is a pretty well-respected person, so... Oh wow, this settler going all the way up. Really looking to box things in. Mule being forced to move that settler to the rear, having been denied the settle along the river by Rolf's Brazil. Not much in the way of military units just yet. Now, because Rolf has access to encampments, it means he can see iron. Now, I don't see any science nodes up just yet, as far as his land goes, but he could be sending the settler up to where he can see iron. So we could see a swordsman push or timing come out of this. What mods are enabled? The Spectator mod and the Better Balanced Start mod by Waza. Those are the only two, and this settler is going all the way out to the Natural Wonder. He has some amazing... This settle right here is incredible. Did you imagine oral tradition? This would be a 3 food. This would be, or 3 food, a 3 culture, 3 food, 2 production, 4 gold plantation. That would be an amazing tile. Like that's better than a Hill Torres. Ah, oh, Hannah's gonna see the settler. Knows there's nothing to do, but she can do about it. Let's see this settler though. Not much in the way of freshwater settles for Hannah, but that's okay. Because there are other ways to get housing in your cities, and she can always aqueduct to these mountains, so there's definitely some ease of access in that regard. So she doesn't need to be as worried. And if she can scout for it, Non-Madol is on the map if she can secure a suzerain, but it is a long ways away. Indonesia's definitely going to want that Non-Madol suzerain though, with coastal city centers, because those count for the bonus as well. There's all districts that are near the coast or adjacent to get the +2 culture. That includes your city center. Oh, another settler coming out from Mule. Hopefully he starts escorting this. He doesn't know it, but Rolf's gonna be looking. Kree is targeted for war by Germany. Uh-oh. Don't see any real reason for the war declaration. Ulm is down for our German player as well. Culture grabbing the Fox tile there. Is getting some valuable scouting into Russia's land. A second lava goes down. Plenty of builders going around. Trader Gold Snatch. Oh, yes, you're right. Absolutely. Good eye, Swissy. Brasilia going down. All right on there. Let's take a quick look. Let's see. Still has the back settle here. This is really going to be a dumpster until industrial zones can be built for it. But it does have another settle on this side of the lake. We'll have to see what happens though. Oh man. Depending on the first moves, Rolf could snatch this settler if he can first move it, but he does get the war declaration. Oh, does manage to get into the city center, and it is going to be linking up with the warrior there. Couple of builders running around for our Indonesian player there. No new military units coming out just yet. Warrior chooses to hit the scout head on the hill. 2B Scout retreats, has that hill promotion for that, ignoring the movement cost for hills. And speaking of builders, 3 builders running around for 2B's Germany and already has quite a few improvements down. Warrior Settler Link is moving over though. I wonder if she'll do a far forward out here, grab the horse. Has a beautiful dive. Ancient Era ends in 5 turns. We're going to be seeing who's hitting what kind of age. And oh, our Indonesian player sending that trader forward. No, there are no teams. This is a free-for-all. Always war Iron Man free-for-all. There's going to be no deals made, no trading, no alliances, no friendships, and there's no concedes either. They're going until the victory screen hits, or until they die. She is playing as the Cree, with her cities Hannah and a banana. Get a good look at the land spread there. Some of our players electing to expand quite a bit faster than others. Our Indonesian player Hustler already on 3 cities. Our German player 2B also on 3 cities already. Russia's taking it a little bit slower, getting more improvements out. However, this trader is probably going to get pillaged by 2B here at the end of the turn. I'd have to wait and see what Rolf does with the general he's working toward. We'll have it in 11 turns. First profit of the game will be picked up by our Russian player Harpagon. He does have 2 Lavras down. And as I said earlier, he is getting those writer, artist, and musician points super early built up. Those great works will be free culture for him, or if he chooses to go for a cultural victory, it'll be very important. 2B also getting an archer out here, likely for a city-state envoy. Another settler coming up for Hustler as well. Plenty of good settles here. You get one right there, another one right there, or over here, depending on what he chooses to do. So he will just sit comfortably on 5 cities, 6 when he goes up this way. Remember, building taller in Rise and Fall is a lot more impactful than it used to be because of all the collective changes that have happened. Getting those higher population cities up faster, it all just builds up into more and more. So we see more players going tall instead of wide, and it's really benefiting them to do so. Now
so classical general not in border, or what's the rule?
There's no restriction.
But in bot command it says this, but okay, fine.
Well, I just double checked it and it said no ban on the classical era general combat bonus, so it's fair game. I'm interested to see the trader take this route to go to Argus instead of going this way. Oh well. Traders do take the shortest path in terms of movement cost when they're building their roads between cities on their trade route line. So for those of you that try to plan your roads going over certain rivers or over certain hills, keep that in mind. Try to get a good estimate of how much movement it's going to cost for certain routes between your cities, and you'll know exactly how that road's going to lay out ahead of time. Or, if you click on the trader and you look at the various route that you want to send to a city, it'll highlight the route that it'll actually build the road on for you. To be declared on Harpagog. So it looks like Esdeath is looking to declare on everybody. Does have a second arch route. Encampment completed. Lots of builders running around. Looks like he's using builders to chop builders. And it looks like we will have him going for the Temple of Artemis. There's a chop. A second chop goes out, and it's almost done. The power of having Magnus as a governor when you're doing these key chops. It does so much. It doubles the value of the chop, the production, the food. Anything you would get from that chop is doubled by having Magnus in that city. And there it is, Temple of Artemis complete. Chop, chop, chopped. Era scores so far. It does not show the player's respective era scores. The era ends in 2 turns, Swissy. 2 turns. And I will let you know. Oh, interesting. 16, 12, 18. Okay, got you. Wasn't too sure if it would be a 1-to-1 value on the expanded score sheet because it has been known to be a little unreliable in the past. Looking at Harpagon here, era score of 16. 2B's Germany, era score of 12. Hannah's Korea, era score of 18. Rolf's Brazil at an era score of 9. Hustler's Indonesia, era score 14. Noel's Gorgo, 15 era score. And we're ignoring mine. So looking at that, a lot of our players are not going to be starting with a golden age. Lisbon has declared war on 2B. Harpagon actually secured Lisbon with his Amani. A lot of our players are likely going to try to swing dark into golden to get the heroic age for the medieval era, because that's a particularly potent time in your empire growth. And another reason to get a dark age is you get access to a card that gives your units an additional +5 combat strength, but they can't heal outside of your borders. So there is a cost-benefit ratio to that. Lots of hoplites coming out for our German player Mule. However, Rolf has swords online. And with a general, Mule's going to be in a lot of trouble here. It's going to be pretty, it's really hard to get a Dark Age at Classical. You have to dodge goody huts, you have to be careful about settling cities. If barbs are on, you have to be very careful about not to clear barb camps, because those give 3 era score apiece as well. So you have to really think about the cost of swinging a Dark Age Classical era, because you could really be hurting yourself in the long run. And here we go. We have hit the era here. We're just going to pick free inquiry just to get it off our screen. End our turn, and we're going to take a look and see where did everyone end up. It looks like it's going to take a moment here to really swing in. Maybe a turnover to show. Have some builders in the background for Rolf coming out of his capital. A lot of our players switching to their tier 1 governments now. Hannah really getting more scouting out this way. Has a warrior and one of her scouts scooting around. However, there are archers and warriors about for Hustlers. Indonesia, so there will be no easy pickings here. Oh, has the archer take a move forward along with the warrior towards Myoel. So it looks like this is going to turn into a 2-on-1 situation, unfortunately. Swords moving forward with this general. Again, unrestricted classical generals. This is the kind of warfare you invite in when you do not restrict those movements. And these hoplites are not going to be able to stand against these swords, especially not with a general behind them. Lots of builders still running around for 2B's Germany. He's really getting a lot of chops out. Lots of improvements done to tiles. Did secure that Temple of Artemis, so he will be enjoying some free amenities there. Is keeping a warrior near Harpagon's Russia in the lands, does pillage the pasture, and is applying some soft pressure here. Harpagon does have a settler moving all on its lonesome out west, though. Is going to get a nice settle up here. It will grow very quick, but the production's going to be low there. Dance of the Aurora was taken by him as well, so that's a 7 faith lava up there. Holy goodness. I am rather surprised to not see another Pantheon get picked by him, considering his surrounding lands. However, it is what it is. Our Kree player Hannah does pick up Divine Spark, so she will be able to contest those key scientists easier, as well as the writers, because that is also a part of Divine Spark's bonus. And if she chooses to go for a religion, she will get the bonus there as well. Lots of archers coming out here as well. More builders from the capital for Hustler. Definitely looking to see a two-front war here for Mule. Hopefully has a plan in mind. Another builder came out this turn, not a military unit. That is a problem. Does need to get some archers out behind these hoplites. I mean, the hoplites standing side by side will negate the +10 bonus the swords get fighting an anti-cavalry class unit. But even with the thrust promotion giving them a +10 against melee, there is still the deficit of the general there, as well as them being still short a little bit in the difference of combat strength, even with that promotion. And until they get it, they're really going to be hurting. We are going to be keeping the focus of the camera panned over here between Brazil, Gorgos, Greece, and Indonesia. Horses coming out as well. So I am, like I said, I'm surprised to see horses get used against a Gorgo. Hoplites will absolutely shred horses. However, they are all on the front against those swords, not over here. So as soon as their 10 turns of after refixing peace is up, we could see a huge hit against Mule from Indonesia. Hustler looking to try and secure some what he sees as easy cities. These are higher tier players here in this game, so if they smell blood in the water, they're gonna go for it. Slinger coming out for Harpagon's Russia as well. He's getting ready to get some archers on the field. 2B moving his archers onto hills, probably acting as scouts primarily, not too keen on just going after anything in particular. Has some more to the south as well. Is going to need some more units down here to deal with Lisbon since it is at war with him, but man, there's just so many builders out. We do have some more city-states declaring. 2B did secure Preslov, so he will be enjoying that bonus there. The cities will get +2 loyalty per turn for every encampment district building that they have, such as your barracks, your armory, things of that nature. Quite a few more units coming out for Harpagon as well. Looks like he is going to try and box this warrior in and kill it off, and then resecure his lands and get his key improvements out as well. Taking a quick look at the Prophet did get picked up while we were looking at other things. Eastern Orthodoxy founded by our Russian player. Choral music, so shrines and temples will give culture, just like they would normally faith. So he's going to be enjoying a lot of free culture, which is very important in the game now for Rise and Fall. Culture's always been a key aspect of unlocking those civics, but ever since Rise and Fall, that's taken an even more important role because of the loss of the meritocracy policy card. All these swords poising up lots of hoplites here. Holy crap, these are not the units you want to be using against these swords. He needs to get archers on these hills. These 3 hills here need to be archers so that they can be shooting at these swords as well. There are 2 more warriors back here to be upgraded into swords. And hopefully some promotions come out for these units. Speaking of the upgrade there, one of the warriors does turn into a sword and it will be moved forward next turn. 2 builders in the background here. Looks like they're getting ready to do a couple of chops here. Rolt's going to want to be careful here to not chop too much rainforest out or he's going to be losing his adjacencies. This is going to be a beautiful commercial hub though. And everyone did land a normal age for the classical era. Nobody swung golden, no one tried to go dark age. Actually seeing a +4 campus come out here. War declaration goes out, Hustler on the mule as well. This was expected, we did see this coming for a while and he has now pulled the trigger on it. Has more horses and an archer to support as well. Here we go. Holy builders. His builders are building more builders. This warrior has seen better days. And there's the oligarchy switch coming out of Brazil here. Just now getting it, so these swords are going to have that oligarchy bonus. These hoplites getting those promotions and more of them surging eastward to deal with these horsemen. I'm not too sure they're going to get there in time, though. People getting super impatient over a turn timer already. They have the timer for a reason. A bunch of settlers coming out here as well. Gonna leave the camera panned here for the war, and oh my god, Stockholm Falls. Mule is pushed on the back foot. Will these hoplites be able to hold the line, or could they could retake the city? There is a fair number of them. However, he is sacrificing his western front to reinforce that side. Does have iron in Göteborg, but he's not going to be able to get it online. Warrior bot and Bima. Interesting. Meanwhile, Hannah sitting back on 4 cities at the moment. There we go. Going in the end of the turn. Tons of builders rolling around. To be getting a lot of settlers here. 3 out at the top of the turn here. Coming into turn 38. 37, I apologize. More builders. Oh, goodness. Really showcasing how an effective SimCity is worked. You get the tiles chopped that you need chopped. You get tons of builders out. Improving those tiles and getting more builders to keep improving all those tiles that you're not going to use for districts. This is especially important for Germany because you're going to need to chop tiles out in order to make room for your Hansas and whatever other districts you want to put in your diamonds. These are usually commercial hubs. But you need to clear those tiles out to get your Hansa formations where you're planning on setting them up. So getting all these chops out really benefits Germany in the long run. So Rise and Fall has really been a pseudo buff for Germany, if you will, because you're encouraged to chop those tiles early with Magnus. Kumasi gets suzerained by 2B. Yikes, and that's going to be declaring war. Has some warriors out, more like scouts, so it's really just giving 2B a ton of vision here. But these warriors will start to harass and haze Hannah and Harpagon accordingly and respectively. Taking a quick look at our great people here. Next general is likely to be picked up by 2B's Germany, and that will be Boudica. No campus is complete yet, though Hapasha is the first scientist. Excuse me. Great Writer is going to be picked up by Russia in 2 turns. So that'll be some bonus culture for our Russian player to accelerate their early game a bit. And there's another settler coming out for our Cree player as well. It's going up the road, likely to go somewhere over in here. This would be a really good spot. Can get to the aqueduct onto that 1-tile desert there, so no real loss as far as tile yield goes from that aqueduct. Might put it up here though to get this +3 campus. Though to be honest, it'd just be worthwhile buying up the stone tile, chopping it to throw the campus down instead. Or even on this hill. Taking a look back home for our Brazilian player Rolf. Not much in the way of improvements has been done with these tiles, mostly just chops as he's really pushed for that early war. He does have a couple of builders scooting around improving some tiles, but nothing major, no real SimCity work here. Mostly just raw warfare. Now he only has 4 swordsmen over here, but they are making headway against these hoplites. Speaking of which, another comes out. Archer comes out of Göteborg, does go onto the iron tile, and will likely stay there to secure the iron source. Stockholm is retaken by the hoplites though, and they have formed a defensive line, if you will, with some more going to reinforce. I am a little bit concerned that he's reinforcing the Stockholm side and not really hard dealing with these swords. They are getting promotions, they have the benefit of a general, and they're just going to become more and more deadly. Stockholm will fall again next turn. We'll have to see if people are quick on their feet for those first moves, because if he can kill off these horses real quick, he could save the city. Hey, thank you so much for the support. I hope you're enjoying the match as much as I am casting it. It's going to be absolutely great. Another hoplite bought by Mule in his capital there. These 2 archers poised up on this hill. Looks like they're looking to rain a little terror down, but there is a large force here. Ooh, Harpagon even upgrading that slinger to an archer now. Does have plenty of builders run along the background, even a chariot back there that was probably picked up for a city-state quest. So we'll have to wait and see if we're going to see anything in terms of knights. Ancestral Hall already up for 2B, so these cities, when they're settled, they're going to come with a free builder. I would not be surprised to see him bash Lisbon and just take it if he can't secure it. It only has 4 envoys in it right now. No one's really heavily contested it, so we could see an envoy dump there. However, he is also elected to take Kumasi, so as well as Preslav, so unless he gets lucky with some city-state quests, he's going to be a little stretched for envoys. Tons of horses coming out, and these were just chopped out. City gets founded, and that will be Frankfurt. Does come with a free builder, as I previously mentioned there, from the Ancestral Hall bonus. Horse is moving forward, so is the Archer. Another settler coming on down. Plenty of good land here for him to set up a really nice pentagram with his cities, actually, and he could get some beautiful Hansa formations with it. Have to wait and see exactly what he wants to do, though. That being the case here, we do have more builders coming out for Harpagon. I'd like to see some settlers come out, actually, since he's... Oh, wow, another Lavra coming down. This is going to be a religious game for a Russian player. Maybe even picking up the building from the Tier 2 government choice to buy units with faith. So we could see an old-style theocracy play, just without the theocracy government. Since you don't need it anymore, you just need that building you unlock with the Tier 2 governments. Not much going on for Hannah down here. No districts down just yet. Does have iron unimproved. Not much going on in the way of builders either. Would definitely like to see more. Gotta get those tiles improved. Really need to take full advantage when you're going to pick Magnus as a governor. Now, if you're unlucky enough to simply not have chops, then you'd pick him up later when you're settling that city that will have chops. But that's not the case for her. But she hasn't utilized it. Still a nice city here in the middle that can be taken up by Hustler. He can even settle one down here and one on the banana if he so chose. But we'll have to wait and see what his exact plans are. Does have a horse hounding down 2B's scout. Archer sitting on the ivory there. General of his own has been picked up. And with that general support, he will retake Stockholm there. But there are still a ton of hoplites here. And some of them do have promotion. However, on the west, his front is crumbling. These swords getting those promotions there from that prolonged combat are going to be closing in around his capital and really starting to tighten the noose. 2 more swords sitting back at home that have been upgraded. They haven't been sent to the front just yet. Another camp is coming down in Brasilia. Nothing completed just yet. That being said, nothing completed. Looking at turn 40, taking a quick look at our demographs here as soon as the turn rolls over fully. We'll leave the camera pan over here. Galley coming out for Hustler. Again, likely for a city-state quest there. But we'll get some good scouting off of it nonetheless. And there we go. That's centralized for you guys to watch. While we look at the demographs here, 2B's Germany at 13.7 science a turn. Rolf's Brazil at 13.1, looking kind of close there. 10.8 a turn from Hannah's Cree. 10 from Harpagon's Russia. Hustle's Indonesia at 9.2. And Muel's Gorgo Greece at 7.1. Science is still super tight right now, but those differences in 1, 2, 3 points a turn do make a difference early on, especially because of the low cost of science required for each tech. Stockholm is retaken by Mjoel in the background, as you can see there. Take a look at culture. We have 2 Bs, Germany at 15.1. Harpagons, Russia at 11.5. Rolf's, Brazil at 15.2. Hustlers, Indonesia at 10.7. Mjoel's, Gorgo, Greece at 8.3. And Hannes, Poundmaker at 6.7. That 15.2 culture a turn, my goodness, and that 15 raw from 2B's Germany, absolutely incredible this early on. And really just going to highlight the difference there. Our players are right around here as far as their civics go. Hannah's lagging behind a bit. But for things such as recorded history, it only requires 87 culture to get this civic. Because of that, a difference of 5 a turn is a really big deal. Because the difference is 5 this turn. If I hold that difference of 5 over you, by the end of next turn, that's 2 ticks of it, so that's 10 culture I'm ahead of you now on that civic. So those bonuses do add up very quickly over time, especially in a game like Civ, where you have games going to the turn 100, turn 90, 120. Things can add up really fast in this game, and that's why getting these key builders out, like we're going to take another look over in Germany now that the war moves are done. All of these builders that have been running around improving tiles, chopping things out, are getting those bonuses up earlier on for 2B's Germany, and because of that he's getting more out of that investment from that builder. And that's what makes improving your tiles so important. It's only a +1 or 2 now, but over the course of a game, it gives you a lot. And it looks like he will be taking a couple chips at Lisbon here with a horse. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to take it or not. He very likely will. It would give him a coastal city to use his U-boats later in the game. I would like to highlight how short this gap is, though, between Brazil and Germany. So if Rolf chooses to get the Minas Gerais, which is the unique battleship that Brazil gets when he gets to that point in the game, he could wreak a little bit of havoc here for 2B. Starting over here once again at the top of the turn, 41. Another galley coming out here. Looks like it's going to be used for scouting as well. Another reason to make 2 galleys, even on a PNG map. Stockholm, again, retaken. I'm not too sure why anyone in Stockholm still wants to live there with the city constantly being attacked. But hey, some people like to thrive on danger. Another reason to be utilizing galleys early on, not just for scouting, but later on when you go for your Merchant Republic, 2 caravels gives you the boost for it. So if you have the time to swing by and grab the technology cartography and upgrade those galleys into caravels, yes, you get a little city strength boost as well, depending on where your units are as far as techs go. But you'll also get the boost for Merchant Republic, in addition to the added bonus of any of your fishing huts built by your builders on your water improvements, giving an additional 2 gold. So it can be a very worthwhile investment to grab those 2 caravels at the mid-game. You have some more city-state controls going on here. Rolf does secure Geneva. He's at war, so he won't get the bonus from the 15% extra science. However, he will enjoy the benefit of being able to send trade routes to Geneva eventually, as well as denying those trade routes to players he wars because of it. And of course, Geneva will be harassing Göteborg with these warriors, more than likely to be the case. Mjolnir does secure Toronto, however, so it looks like those are going to be caught up in fighting there. Toronto will be harassing Hasselmert a bit as well. Another galley coming out. Couple more builders scooting out for Rolf's Brazil here. He is looking to sim behind this. Does complete one of his campuses this turn, interestingly enough. So we might see him chop some projects for Hypatia. Commercial hub's going down. Hey, thank you so much for the support. Hope you're enjoying the match as much as I am catching it. We got a pretty awesome match here we're looking at. Oh, to be buying out to the 5 food sugar march here. So Kauai will be growing very quickly. Oh, campus going on over there. Looks like a lot of our players are getting their districts set down, not necessarily completed right away, but they are looking to get those key districts down. Oh, Mjolnir's capital does in fact fall to our Brazilian player, Rolf. Does manage to resecure Stockholm for now, but is losing his capital there is really going to be hurting him. The question's going to be is, what are these swords going to do now? Are they going to go for Göteborg? Or are they going to try and go after Stockholm? And if he does go for Stockholm, it's probably going to turn into a war between him and Hustler. That being said, Boudica did get kicked back to Bima, so the horses that are over here have lost their combat advantage. Oh, wow, low rolls the horse on the marsh there, nearly kills it. Plenty of scouting going on by our Indonesian player here. He has 4 galleys out. That's actually quite a few. GG to Mule. Well, hope you enjoyed the game. That was quite the predicament you were in. Unfortunately, hoplites just simply cannot hold against swordsmen. Definitely needed to have some archers supporting them to at least get some damage done onto them alongside the hoplites, because it was rough. You really needed that iron in Göteborg. Am a little bit surprised to not see Hustler be bold enough to go for this settle to lock down these tiles. And interestingly enough, though, these tiles are 3 away from Palembang, so he could buy all of these tiles out if he has the gold for it. And that would deny Hannah this wonderful sheep tile if she settles right here onto this 2-1 woods. Unwarranted, it'll be hard to protect the improved tile if he builds a pasture on it, but it would still be a valuable tile nonetheless as the city grows. Not to mention, just denying it to your opponent is still very potent in and of itself.
Can we find someone to do that? Go back 1 turn and do that?
Why would we be going back a turn? Hey Alter Ego, how's it going? Tile improvements going down in the background, and Rolf's Brazil Empire back here in his little 3-city domain. for city he just picked up. Boudica sent up to Stockholm. Horse promoted. Units moving into a defensive position. They're going to be finishing off the remainder of Gorgo in the background here. And with that settled, we do have our first player out of the game. It looks like Russia's getting ready to go to some open warfare against 2B's Germany, or at least try to shove them away. Lisbon gets cleaned up this turn as well by 2B. It looks like he'll be keeping that city-state. That'll be his one for this game. Any others he conquers do have to be raised. More settlers coming out here as well. Plenty more cities to be settling and getting down. And it looks like he is not going to be losing a beat. It does need to get some more builders out if he wants to continue doing as he has been. But we'll wait and see what happens. He has so many of his tiles improved. His cities are honestly flourishing. His capital's already at an 11 population. That's incredible. That being said, Great Rider Kuyan is picked up by Harpagon. His capital, we'll have to look and see how... We didn't touch on it earlier, but for every city following a religion, he will be getting an extra 2 gold a turn.
The AI always accepts it. That's the thing.
AI doesn't always accept emergencies. We'll have to wait and see.
I got the emergency as well, but...
Gorgo didn't get it according to the list I'm looking at. So, shouldn't be an issue. Taking a look at the era progress here, it's going to be quite a while until we enter the medieval era. Lots of swords moving up to support these horses. Still some warriors in the background, but they do have promotions. They're going to be upgraded as well, also supported by a general. Rolf could be in quite a bit of trouble here. Not much going on with Hannah's Cree. Not many builders running around, just the one. Archers taking shots against Kumasi. To be gearing up a little bit of a defensive line here. Holt did withdraw his archers back to these hills to get some vision out. Magdeburg goes down as well, and he is looking at 6 cities right now. Meanwhile, our Russian player's still on 3 cities. I'm a little surprised to not see any settlers having come out by Harpagon. That being said, our Cree player Hannah is on 5, soon to be 6. That settler is moving about. Hustle sitting on 4 of his own, picked up the 5th, and he is going to be gunning for Mjolwell's former capital. Definitely going to be a hotbed of violence here. And Hepasha was picked up by 2B's Germany. Very unexpected to see that. Rolf definitely had a commanding lead as far as campus timing. B being targeted by an emergency as well, and we are not involved with that one, but goodness gracious. Lot of hotbed of activity here. As usual, 2B fashion declaring war on the entire world as he finds them. Saying, you are not welcome here. However, a lot of the action is going to be here in Mule's former capital. Fortified swords with their general lining up. They do have a river defense bonus for the majority of those tiles. That double promoted sword sitting there up front, which is right here. Highlight that for you. That one will not get that defense bonus of having the river. However, is still well supported. There does have the support bonuses. There's a general here for Hustler. It has some warriors here. This one's double promoted as well. It's definitely going to be a difficult time taking this city. Archers coming up in the background here with more swords to accompany, and these will be joining the front line here coming into turn 46. These players have to be careful. This constant warring can lead them into irrelevancy. The only good war in Civ is a quick one. The longer you take spending making military units, the less time you have to actually make city improvements, getting projects out, and other things to actually improve your empire. Does manage to pretty gravely wound that sword, and it will be retreating. Is replaced by another sword. That being the case, we are going to take a look and see what is Hustler doing behind this. He has builders running around. Nothing really come out this turn. Getting tile improvements done in the background. Finally has a builder out in Palembang now, and that'll be able to improve some of these wonderful tiles here that he's managed to acquire off of this natural wonder. Absolutely beautiful. And it looks like Hannah is looking to make a bit of a V here with her cities. And with that, we'll be able to try and effectively lock out Hustler from this side of the continent. Looks like Kumasi's giving Hannah a really hard time here. Archers and warrior from Kumasi are pushing forward. And uh-oh, General here with a bunch of horses. Looks like 2B smells blood in the water, and he's going to be looking to go after Hannah now. Russia finally gets another settler out. Definitely need to see some more cities. Pull up the religious lens here. Not much pressure as far as things are going right now. In terms of just relying on passive spread, saving up that faith that is being generated. And speaking of faith, take a look at that demograph. We have largely ignored it. And it's 15.4 a turn for Harpagon and 14.1 for Hustler. No one else really paying faith much attention at all. Indonesia, of course, being known to buy ships with faith. Uh-oh, and here comes 2B with the general accompanying those horses, slamming right into Hannah's easternmost city. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Takes the city of Fofana. Hold on, we gotta look at these city names. Hannah, Banana, V5 Anna, okay. This was cute. Definitely got a smile off of that. More horses coming in to reinforce, and it looks like it's just a bit of an expeditionary group. These 6 horsemen are just on their own with that general. There's nothing coming behind it. So if Hannah can mount a reasonable defense and fend it off, we'll be just fine. Hansa's coming down all over the place. Some cities aren't quite ready yet to have theirs. Looks like we're going to have tight little miniature Hansa triangles here instead of diamonds. We're not going to see any Monumentus 20s, it looks like, from 2B today. Tons of troops coming out of Hustlers Indonesia here. Rolf's reinforcements need to arrive, and they need to get there now. But you have to keep in mind, these generals will not help archers. They are ancient era units, not classical or medieval. Alright, turn rolling over. We're going to see what combat moves are prioritized between Hustler and Rolf at this instant. Now, our Indonesian player is gaining ground, but it's gonna be pretty close here. Reinforcements are starting to arrive finally, and he's got to find a way to cross this river. River defense is a +5 for the defender, and these are on hills, so that's another +3. They also have support bonuses, which are outweighing the flanking bonus that's being received. So it's very, very quick to add up to all these modifiers that really sway the ebb and flow of combat. And there's only so much that can be done here, and he's got to be careful coming across these. The floodplains are a -2 modifier for the defender, so it's going to be a hard swing over this north flank. He doesn't have enough units to envelop to really make the most of this just yet. He needs to pull these warriors back into territory he controls and upgrade them to swords if he's going to really mount this offensive. And he's got to swing them through here as well. That being the case, we are going to go back a little bit eastward here. We do have Hannes Kree. A city is going to be going up to the northwest, it looks like. Anime is for weebs. These city names. Ooh, really fat theater square going down here. 4. Does have a 6 Hansa there. It looks like we're going to be seeing a lot of 12 Hansa productions come out. Once Guilds is hit as a civic, for those who are unaware, Guilds gives you a card that doubles the adjacency bonus of your industrial zones. For Germany, this is incredibly potent. It's how you see those Hansas get 20 production or more by really making those tight diamonds. To be targeted for an emergency again. It looks like the horses are closing around the next city of our Kree player here. Germany really getting a bit out of hand. However, swords from Russia, we could see a bit of a play here if 2B isn't looking. He's not paying enough attention. We do have a second settler coming out for Harpagon's Russia. Gonna see some more cities go down at last for our Russian player. That being the case, next turn, turn 50, we will be looking at the demographics once again to see how these wars have heavily impacted both our Brazilian and Indonesian player. They have been heavily investing into this war, and it's been prolonged for quite a while.
Someone is sending me a trade deal. It's not allowed.
Tisk tisk. No sending trades. This is a war game. Lots of builders run around in the background for 2B once again. Gonna take a minute to really pan over and see the various tile improvements he's managed to swing these plantations down as well. Still no Pantheon picked by our German player, mind you. He's just gone all in for pushing his production up and forward. Chopped out all of these tiles so that they were available for districts. In fact, he's even working on an amphitheater as we speak. Lots of mines put up, so these cities are enjoying a very nice production. It's really, goes to show how strong SimCitying can be if you have the tiles to work for your populations. And that's why improving those tiles is so important. In the background here, we did have Fifioana go down. Builders were evacuated, though. Our Creed player down to 3 cities. I'd like to see this settle get picked up by Hustle as well. This is some good hill work right there. And make a really nice Petra city too. Taking a quick look at the tech tree here. Not much going on there. Top of the turn, we have more builders coming out for our Brazilian player. Nothing new, really, for our Indonesian player. Does have a city about to go down in the background. 2B's horses moving westward to try and go after the rest of Hannah's cities. Gotta be careful with the settler. If 2B's watching, it will be grabbed. Taking a look at the demographics here. Top of turn 50, we do have 2B's Germany at 33 science a turn. Rolf's Brazil at 31 science a turn. Hustle's Indonesia at 12 science a turn. Hannah's Korea at 11. Harpagon's Russia at 11. Taking a look at culture here. 36.5 a turn coming out of 2B's Germany. 20.7 a turn out of Harpagon's Russia. Rolf's Brazil at 20.2. Hustler's Indonesia at 14.8 and Hannah's Korea at 6.3. Quite a sizable lead here for 2B's Germany as far as the religious aspect, or the cultural aspect goes. I do apologize there. Still only one religion. No one is picking up another prophet as of yet. Rolf forced to fall back to the side of the river there fully, could no longer hold that tile. Some shots going on to the city center, but these swords aren't promoted. They don't have that amphibious promotion that allows them to ignore the rivers for combat modifiers. That being the case here, we do have walls being built in Myoel. Archers taking some shots. Swords cycling out, taking hits on the city center, and oh my goodness, that 50 damage. City will fall next turn unless those walls come up. Uh-oh. Nothing looks out of place. You should be able to hot join. Nothing looks out of place. Did have a disconnect. We are getting him back into the game in order to continue. I don't know who that was, but this game is fully privatized. But he's not here anymore. That's why it was taking you so long and looked stuck to be some random join this. The lobby's private. The game's private. I don't know why people are able to get in. Oh, he joined from our Steam chat, that's why. Cool, showing him connected to the game. Let me know when you're in 2B. We had a couple people go AFK to grab a drink real quick. Everybody throw a plus into chat if you're here. We all good?
Okay, good to go.
Alright, everybody's here? Let's do this. Sorry for the delay, everybody. We got everyone back in. Everyone's back at their desk. Things will be continuing. It looks like Rolf is not going to be able to hold Nola's capital. And that's going to be very detrimental for him. However, he does have a significant science per turn advantage over Hustle. So he's going to hit techs such as knights and crossbows a lot sooner. I agree, Turd. That's the real kick in the shin for this. There was just no military units there to push this off. It was only 6 horses. Germany is just acquiring more and more cities and land. And the game's gonna go out of control. Russia wasn't really heavily pressured early on, it just chose not to make settlers until very recently. He did not excessively pressure Germany either. So there was no real threat per se for Russia. Russia had a great deal of land and space to work with. Well, this is simply how the map played out, so to speak. I mean, no one got screwed with a really god-awful start. The worst start was had by Meow, and even then, he had some good city placements here. This would have made a very good back settle into a good Petra. Easily could have gone for Lady of Reeds and Marshes to make this city more worthwhile. Would have been an amazing Petra. Had good settles back here and up here as well. Again, Lady of Reeds and Marshes would have made this city worthwhile. So, and he scouted it. He had the information. He just didn't properly act on it, so to speak. And it's easy for me to say because I can see the map. But when you look and see how the players have scouted throughout the game, well, there's no telling how a map's going to shape up specifically, Turd. Unless you hard-code a map with fixed player positions. But this was a random map generated, and all the players had good starts. No one had all desert or all snow, or so it was in the hands of the players, eye of the beholder, so to speak. Classical era ends in 9 turns, so we'll be finally entering the medieval era there. Walls go up in Mule, so that is going to be buying a little bit of time here. Hopefully, Rolf is able to hit crossbow tech to get the range strength of his walls and his ranged units up. Because fighting these swords, they're eventually going to get the Tortoise promotion, which is plus 10 combat strength against ranged attacks. And then archers are going to be worthless against them. However, his archers are taking shots on Rolf's. Thankfully, this one was ready to promote. This sword should be crossing the river, to be honest, and going after that archer. He can't afford to unfortify these positions, so he's going to have to do it through this sword. Trying to take some melee hits under the wall, but there's a river here. Not to mention all of the outside forces that are garrisoned. Does cycle out this sword, tries to get another hit in, but again, same problems. You're crossing a river. Needs to get a battering ram up there. Looks like Han is going to be losing her capital soon to Ezra's horsemen. I am surprised to see horses used effectively, considering how much has changed to benefit the use of spearmen. But there were no units there to defend, so that's kind of why this has happened. And this comes back to a very major point that I hammer every time I cast a match. I always come back to this core value, this core concept, and that's scouting. Knowledge is power. If you can't see what people are doing, then you have no idea what's going on. You have to really assume and make your judgments based on their demographics, their science, their culture, their military strength score. But that just tells you what they have access to. You have no idea what's really there or not. And in a game where not having your troops at the right spot on time could cost one or more cities, or even the game in some cases, especially later, you really have to get that information somehow, and that comes out with putting scouts on hills, or just getting more scouts out there on the map. Now, I'm not saying, you know, make 5 scouts at the start of every game you play, but you have to constantly be having something out there to keep an eye on your surroundings. Having those extra turns to buy time, if you will, that can really save your game. Whether you're single player against the AI or you're in a multiplayer setting, scouting is incredibly important. And absolutely, Ombre, these German cities though, and look at how well he simmed with this, all these builders improving tiles. And still more builders here in the south improving things in the background. We do have a lot of Hanses down. This is going to be a tight Hansa formation, it looks like. Who are
Maybe we move down to FFA 1 or something.
I'm not even... Go kill that AI so that this doesn't happen anymore. This game's set to private, but people are joining the Steam group chat and joining through that. It's not that the audio keeps dropping per se, I use a push to talk. So that's probably why. There we go, this should be better. I'm disconnected from their chat a bit. And Hannah's out. GG Hannah, it was a good try. You had some great land at your disposal. Not too much done in the way of builders, so you're definitely going to want to look at that.
Dad.
That being the case here, we do have quite a bit going on the field. Lots to look at here. Russia's getting more settlers down, getting some apostles out, interestingly enough. And even some rumors of a unanimous CC here. And honestly, I wouldn't blame them because Germany is completely out of control here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 10 city Germany, soon to be 12. And there's a... I mean, Russia was, or not Russia, I'm sorry, Germany was allowed to just completely get out of control. And that's really where the issue at hand lies. There was no pressure exerted from the neighbor, and you can't let Germany do that, because if Germany is allowed to get their Hansas up, their production becomes so great that they're going to be 1 and 2 turning current era units with their respective production cards. They don't need to rely on gold to upgrade. They can just muscle it out because of how good those Hansas are. More hits coming in against the city center here. I'm again surprised to not see a ram coming. More archers coming up back here being made, so definitely crossbow tech around the corner. As long as it's not winter, Germany can invade Russia. True story there. However, we do have lots of units poising up from Russia against Germany, but the Hansas are up. It's too late. Like, this attack needed to come 30 turns ago. Lots of +3s, +4s, 6 Hansas. This is a +2 for now, but with these districts side by side, it's gonna raise that up even further. We're looking at turn 54, and we're seeing a sword, spear, archer push against Germany. And take a look at our great people here. Next scientist is still Omar, hasn't been picked up yet. For engineers, almost 4.6 points a turn. And Rolfs Brazil has been competing with scientists and in raw science against 2B's Germany, but he is greatly limited because of the number of cities. And he's heavily invested in a war against Indonesia by Hustle, and taking a look at our scoreboard here. Not surprisingly, Germany's leading score, not just by city count, but because they can get the extra district down, instead of being limited by their population, they get that extra district slot. So that inflates Germany's score a lot on its own. So that's why you usually see Germany leading score 90% of the time, usually. Rolf coming in at second here at 188. A very close second to third is Harpagon here. Hustle's a good 40 points behind. Has more cities, but is heavily invested in a war, so this hasn't fully turned around just yet. So gonna have to wait and see. Players are trying to reach Harpagon in chat because they're trying to see if they want to unanimously throw in the towel to 2B's Germany. But yes, this is a free-for-all, Ombre, and thank you, Blagio, for pointing that out. As Death Slaughterfest. Yeah, pretty much, Mr. AT800. It's just, this is what happens when you let your neighbor just go, 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 go. If you have a neighbor that doesn't have a military, or you're noticing or have seen just units just aren't around, those are free cities for you to take. And if you're just going to let them sim and project science or whatever, they're going to turn around and walk over you because of it. You need to take advantage of the openings your neighbors give you. And not everyone likes the domination game. Anything Russia can do to survive. For one, Russia needs more cities. Taking a look at the science here. Russia's science is 15. Germany's is 42. So, that being the case, it's pretty reasonable to say that if Germany wanted, they could flood out a bunch of knights. Which would force Russia to go knights. But Russia doesn't have nearly the same infrastructure from all of these commercial hubs being set up. So honestly, there really isn't anything Russia can do to survive if 2B's Germany really gunned after it. The difference is just so great right now. I mean, he could try to hunker down. He has some good defensible terrain here, but knights with crossbows will decimate everything he has on the field right now. And it looks like it's a full concede out to 2B's Germany. And that is going to conclude this free-for-all event. And again, this was hosted by Clan SunZ. And thank you very much for the opportunity to cast your guys' event. I do enjoy casting any kind of Civ 6 game or match. And I do other games and events as well. But this is always a real treat. Yep, they're conceding. It's GG. There's really nothing they can do to stop Germany at this point. A big thanks to everyone who came out and watched the match, whether you were at the beginning, all the way through to now, or you just started to arrive. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate your viewership and all the support that you all give me. It does mean a lot to me that you take the time out of your day to come watch. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.